Hey, I'm Count.
And I'm G from Based USA, a cheeky parody token using memes to celebrate America, take care of our vets, and onboard the masses to blockchain.
And you're listening to Edge of NFT, the place to unpack the edge of meme-based community building. Keep listening.
Hey, Web3 curious listeners, stay tuned for today's episode to learn how Based USA is using a mix of humor and character development to create impact with the meme coin at its foundation.
And get the scoop on Based USA's AI-powered TV show, blending blockchain storytelling with quirky, patriotic characters.
Plus, find out where you'll want to spend July 4th if you're in San Francisco or want a reason to head west.
All this and more at the edge of Based USA. Cue the intro.
Welcome to The Edge of NFT, the podcast that brings you the top 1% of Web3 today and what will stand the test of time. We explore the nuts and bolts of the business side and also the human element of how Web3 is changing the way we interact with the things we love. This podcast is for the dreamers, disruptors, and doers who are pumped about this ecosystem and driving where it goes next.
Welcome to The Edge of NFT, the podcast created by Jeff Kelly, Ethan Jenny, and Josh Krieger, featuring a variety of top-notch guests and other hosts like myself, Richard Carthon.
It's another production of The Edge of Company, a quickly growing media ecosystem empowering the pioneers of Web3, tech, and culture and responsible for other groundbreaking endeavors like the Outer Edge Innovation Festival in LA and Riyadh.
Today's episode is sponsored as part of a media partnership, which features G, who is a 37-year-old creative director from Los Angeles, California, with a rich history of launching innovative ventures and startups. Over the past 15 years, he has advised multi-million-dollar companies on brand growth, marketing, and the integration of future-proof technologies. Since 2017, G has been deeply involved in blockchain space, both as an investor and a creator. This year alone, he has been instrumental in launching 3 multi-million-dollar cryptocurrency projects, with Based USA being his primary focus. Also on today's show is Corporal Palomares, known as Count to the Based USA community, a U.S. Marine Corps veteran and seasoned leader in both the arts and logistics. Count served in the U.S. Marine Corps from 2005 to 2010, including a deployment to Iraq, and was a mechanic for the F-18 Navy Marine Corps fleet in San Diego. Now he is passionately supporting Based USA, bringing a unique blend of military discipline and artistic creativity to his roles, embracing the opportunity to give back to the community and redefine patriotism.
Based USA, known as the People's Token, is reshaping the digital asset landscape with a focus on American ideals. This platform champions digital ownership and community-driven initiatives, supporting veterans through a dedicated donation treasury. By market buying and the supply, core community members have donated nearly 4% of the tokens to support vets and develop the Proof of Patriot NFTs. They're committed to onboarding and educating Americans about blockchain, and as a result, they're actively participating in Coinbase's on-chain summer with events like the 4th of July celebration and the Based Olympics. They're also developing an AI-powered TV show we'll talk about later that brings their meme characters to life in a humorous series. So great to have you both on the show. Welcome, Count. Welcome, G, to Edge of NFT.
Hey guys, how's it going?
What's up? Thanks for having us.
Yeah, this is an important show. One, because I love the 4th of July and you guys got some fun stuff cooking, and my birthday's on the 2nd. But two, this conversation around meme coins is prolific, right? It's the only thing that's being talked about in our space. And, it is in some sense the edge of NFT. And we'll kind of go into where that sort of fits into the mix. But, we've had all these different leaders in the space coming on the show, and we're asking them, what does everyone think about meme coins and where this is going? And there's clearly sort of a movement or a progression of culture that's occurring here with meme sort of based projects as the underlying sort of foundation of community. So we thought it was really important to have a project on here, talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, the reality of like running a project that's a small market cap and how complex that can be, and also sort of, educate people on what that experience looks like. So thanks guys for taking one for the team and sort of helping us sort of educate our listeners and watchers about what's going on with memes.
Absolutely. Well, there's lots to unpack there for sure. And I definitely feel like meme coins are reinventing and reimagining what community is, especially in this day and age. After I worked in music, in the music industry for 10 plus years, and since COVID, I haven't really gotten back into being that social. And so being an investor into meme coins really turned into like me finding a new sense of community. And then how Based USA came together was I was actively trading meme coins, and a lot of these meme projects rug, and that basically means that the dev who deployed the contract took all of the liquidity out and dropped it from an $800,000 market cap down to like a $70,000 market cap. And what's been pretty popular with meme coins is, at that point, if the active investors in the project like the project enough, they'll decide to start market buying the token in order to get enough of the supply so that they can run it themselves. And that's what happened with Based USA. And I mean, there's so much to unpack. I don't really know how to, I guess I would appreciate your guys' guidance and like trying to like, make this the most digestible for your listeners.
Yeah, I wanted to just come in and say like meme culture is so fascinating to me. So like I've been in the space since 2018. Obviously, there's been a lot of different things that have happened over the months in years that meme culture really has driven a lot of not just the culture of what's happening from NFTs to ordinals to everything else that's happening, but then also just like even back into the traditional markets, right? When you see what happened with Wall Street Bets, what they were able to do with GameStop and AME and all these others. But right now, as we're looking at this current market, I have to pay attention to what's happening in memes because it's truly driving a ton of attention. So how do you see what is happening with all of this attention towards it? Is it here for just this moment, or do you see this as being really a driving force as we head into this next potential bull market?
I think memes are here to stay. They're just becoming more prevalent and more and stronger. Doge was the original meme, which was a fork off of Bitcoin, and that was the OG meme. And every cycle since then, there's been like one or two big memes. And you know, last cycle it was all about NFTs, and this cycle it seems to be all about memes. And I just had a meeting. We just had a meeting with someone yesterday who works in entertainment for some of the biggest production houses in Los Angeles, and she's very interested in looking at how these communities can be activated more in the future. So there's big people paying attention right now. You have venture capitals coming in, hedge funds coming in. I saw we were just at Consensus a few weeks ago, and on the Money Reimagined stage, the last presentation of the conference was on the Money Reimagined stage was all about memes. And there was people from like huge funds on stage, like Joe McCann, who was speaking about, like just new ways of looking at finance through these mechanisms.
Yeah, gee, that makes a lot of sense. And like the fact that you have all these different funds talking about it, it's too big to not pay attention to. And I think memes will continue to be a big focal point of what's to come. But I want to pass it over to Count for a second, man. You come from the world of the Marine Corps, and now you're out here in the world of Web3 and learning and not just learning, but you're doing a ton of different things to be involved in this space. Like, what was that transition like?
Man, that's a great question. I come from the Marine Corps. I got out in 2010, so I joined back in 2005, Iraq in 2008, got out in 2010. So I had a 5-year contract because I was a mechanic on F-18, so my schooling was a little longer. My life has always been such a pendulum of the moment that I try something new. When I got out of the Marine Corps, I went from a mechanic on F-18s to going to art school for graphic design up in San Francisco. So that was a huge pivot. I first kind of started dabbling in cryptocurrency in the 2017-18 bull run era. Didn't know what I was doing. I was just trading. I made a little bit of money, ended up losing all my money. I was okay. I'm over cryptocurrency. Then the bull run again in 21. I dabbled a little bit, made similar mistakes, same kind of thought process. I'm like, all right, it was fun while it lasted. Kind of went back to work. I opened up my own studio here in Los Angeles. I have a studio called Project Parallel Studios where we're for independent artists. We have a music studio. We have a front of house where we do Photoshop, photography, and live streaming. So then for me to kind of start getting into Web3 was kind of natural. Like I started playing with AI and, I started seeing all the applications that decentralization was offering to the world. And I'm big on evolution and kind of, like when the internet got here, not everyone was excited and said, oh, it's not going to last. It's not going to last. And sure enough, we're all on the internet now. Right. So that's kind of the way that I look at it. And, you have to kind of evolve and pivot as things are coming at you. And I think we could shun it away, or we could, take the bull by the horns and kind of like learn and grow. And I have to say, like, I'm not someone that knows a lot about finance, but wow, I'm learning quite a bit just in this bull run, being able to be a part of this project. So it's been a learning curve, but I'm learning.
Yeah, I can appreciate what you're saying there, Count, and I feel like the crew at Southwest could have used your mechanic skills lately with all these crazy issues they're having. But one of my partners, one of the founders of Edge Up Company, Jeff, is a West Point grad, and I think there's a lot to be said for the parallels between launching a token and going into battle with no disrespect to veterans and the life and death circumstances they're under. We don't, this is not life or death, but there's a lot of sort of pivoting and a lot of creativity and a lot of like good judgment that's required under sort of duress in terms of projects like this. And we'll talk a little bit about that later on. But, to start with, G, maybe just give us more of a macro picture on what inspired this project for you guys and what has been some of the lessons learned and challenges in the process. And then we can kind of dive into some of the nitty gritty of the day-to-day of running a project like this.
This is my third bull cycle I've been a part of. I've been, investing in cryptocurrencies since 2017. And this is actually the first cycle that I started investing into meme coins. Every other cycle I've been a utility maxi. And, I was just starting to see where the liquidity was going. I have multiple on CoinStats, for instance. I have different portfolios still set up that I set up manually to kind of track like what my positions would have been if I would have stayed in, when I started off, I was in ARC block and a bunch of different other tokens. And so on CoinStats, when I open it up, I can actually see what that portfolio would have been. And every single time I pivoted and created new positions, I made a new portfolio. And so I'm able to track like what my, holdings would have been had I had stayed in other positions. And the new portfolio that I have, because I have been pivoting more and more into meme coins, is far astronomically larger than it would have been if I would have stayed in the utility plays that I started the cycle off with. So there's that. And then there's Coinbase, and Coinbase is a big part of this narrative because of Base, which is a layer 2 built on top of Ethereum, which offers low gas fees and high speed transactions. So if you want to relate in technology in simple terms, Ethereum is more similar to dial-up. It's slower and it's more expensive. Your gas is around $40, can be $40 to even $200 for every transaction. And when you want to make a trade, it definitely takes 20, 30 seconds sometimes to make a trade. Whereas on Base, it's a layer 2 built on top of Ethereum. And so the gas is, fractions of pennies, and it's almost instantaneous when you want to do a trade or a transfer. And there's that advantage, which so you can kind of, if you are familiar with Solana, Base is similar to Solana in that respect. And then you have, this layer 2 being, offered by Base. So getting into this cycle, I'm bullish on Coinbase. It's one of the largest exchanges in the world. And they have a huge user base of people behind it. If you were to go on the street and walk up to, 10 people and ask them if they invested in cryptocurrency, maybe 1 to 3 of them would say yes. And the chances of that 1 to 3 people that said yes, that they would most likely have been buying Bitcoin or Ethereum on Coinbase wallet. I started paying attention to memes and then started paying attention to memes on Base because I think that moving forward into the future, that's where a lot of liquidity is going to be going because of the fact that, someone that has has Coinbase already, they're going to trust that. And so if something else is offered by Coinbase, they'll probably, it makes sense as far as a, user experience perspective goes.
Yeah. So in terms of Coinbase, I think it's a fascinating journey they've had. I participated in their IPO. Obviously, I got onboarded with Coinbase. And it was an interesting decision they made to go down the L1, the wallet route. They've had some of their charges from the SEC dismissed, but there are some other pending ones. So obviously, listeners, viewers, do your own research, look at where Coinbase is at with these different things. But clearly, you can't ignore the volume that they're producing and some of the benefits that you mentioned. What are some of the challenges that you've seen so far across your different projects with sort of launching a smaller cap token? Obviously, the most obvious one is the speed of movement, right? A bad day for a small cap token is a much worse day than for a big cap. But at the same time, you have this like rabid fan base of committed folks that are really passionate. So maybe you can kind of talk a little bit about your experience with sort of small cap versus big cap, and then we'll also talk more in detail about the community takeover next.
And I think the challenge thing is more of an opportunity and a radical experiment in collaboration, because you're running a high growth startup with a bunch of people that you have never met before or don't know in real life. I'm fortunate to have known Count for many years in real life, but outside of me and Count, everyone else that's a part of the Based USA community and core team, I don't know in real life. And you're running a high growth startup from, a $200,000 market cap to a $13 million market cap with a bunch of people that you don't really know, haven't worked with before. And I would say it's more of an experiment and collaboration than challenging, but there's definitely a lot of obstacles. And then I feel like, managing time is another thing that's really challenging, because the community expects you to be always present 100% of the time. And crypto doesn't sleep. You have investors from all over the world. So it's like 24/7, literally, that there's people live in the TG. And if you're trying to build something, you can't always be present in the TG. So it's learning how to manage many different people, many different cultures, many different perspectives on how to do things, and try and find the best path forward that makes the most sense for everyone. And it's been a really exciting journey so far. And I think that, a big part of it is just being transparent. So if you're watching this and you want to, check out our Based USA Telegram, every single day, Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. PST, I actually work live so that you can be a part of whatever it is that we're working on that week. That's something that we do to include the community so that they can feel like they have a voice in the narrative and the growth of what we're doing at Based USA.
There's two analogies. One that comes to mind is it sounds a lot like throwing an event, a big conference, especially overseas. Richard and I can relate to a lot of those dynamics. And then two, I see some cute cats walking around your house. It's kind of like having a bunch of cats that you kind of decide when they want your attention, and they don't really care what else is going on in your life, but cats will be cats, right? So just two analogies that came to mind when you were sharing that.
One of the things that Base USA has done is introduced the unique community takeover coin. And it's allowing for community members to have some direct impact on the project's direction. Count, can you kind of just explain a little bit more about what that means, and like how has it impacted the direction of Based USA?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we really wanted to change about meme culture was we love a good meme, right? And we love to laugh, and we love to make fun of political situations or whatever that might be. We wanted to keep it degen in the sense that we were still a meme, but we also wanted to kind of find a way, like, how could we be something maybe more than a meme? How could we give it a little more cause? And at the time during the CTO, Joshua, you had mentioned you knew a graduate from West Point. One of the guys that was in part of the CTO was also a West Point cadet right now, currently serving. He's in the second year. And there was me, and there was another veteran in, and it kind of got brought up as like, well, why don't we market by, a percentage of the total allocations, and we'll make that as a donation wallet for veterans. And since at the time it was pretty low, it was pretty, it wasn't as much for us to invest in that as the core group. And that kind of really started the whole kind of like how we could give cause to a funny meme. And it was a great way to kind of make people feel like, okay, well, if they bought this and that wallet grows, the more we could do to give back to our community. And since we were in line with the whole summer ethos of trying to get 1 billion new users onto Base, with the new smart contract that was coming out, that recently just came out, that now you could basically text tokens, through a text message. This was a great way to onboard new users. We thought that would be a great way to incentivize and kind of more focusing on the veteran aspects of things to get veterans onto the coin. So that's kind of like how we kind of turned a meme, maybe more than a meme. And that was kind of like, a consensus when we were talking with a lot of people. That would be kind of my pitch of coming in. I was like, everyone's heard about a meme coin, but what if we could, say that we're a meme coin with a cause, and kind of maybe change the script a little bit?
Right on. Yeah, appreciate all that context and the nuance of sort of what you guys are doing. And I love how you guys have turned this into a project that's actually giving back. What's going on with the 4% donation treasury for veterans, and how's that stacked up so far?
So we were consolidating around the $200,000 to $250,000 market cap for a week, and during that time, we were accumulating tokens and creating the treasuries and building the website and going live with everything. And then we went live a week or so after, and once we went live with the website and started kind of sharing the story of Based USA, our market cap went from a $250,000 market cap to a $13 million market cap in about a week. And so that 4%, it's 38 million tokens. I'm just rounding up to 4%. That 4% or 38 million tokens was around $500,000 market cap at our all-time high. And we actually have a donation tracker. So if you go to baseusa.org, you can see at the top, there's a marquee kind of scrolling status bar where it'll show you the live dollar amount that's in that donation wallet. We decided that we want that donation wallet to go the furthest. And so we're looking to kind of grow the community and grow the market cap up to get it to a certain point where we can do a lot more impact with that donation treasury. If we hit $10 million, if we hit like $100 million market cap, then we have, almost $4 million in the donation treasury to do stuff with. So the idea is that we continue to build the brand and build the vision and then have more ammunition to work with. But then another thing that we're going to be working on integrating is this Proof of Patriot NFT, where we verify veterans based off of their VA cards or count. You can talk about how we'll verify them.
Yeah, so you could either verify a veteran. Each veteran that's signed in with the VA has a little VA card, or if they just showed their DD-214, which is basically their contract saying that they served at this time, we'd be able to verify that they're an actual veteran. And then that's when G kind of came up with the idea of the NFT, that we could make an NFT for veterans basically as their passport, right, to prove that they're a veteran. And that would be a way for them to have kind of their own special club collector's item.
Nice. And by the way, like, it looks like, as we're recording this, you guys are up to over $150,000 donated to veterans, which is pretty amazing for a project that's just been around a little while. So congrats on that.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think that was one of the main things. We weren't really expecting to blow up as fast as we did. It's kind of like you were saying, Joshua, like, the timeline in the meme world is moving so fast. And then there's moments that it kind of halts, right? And I think the very first week we were all, we were working 12 hours a day. I mean, G really had spearheaded the whole idea. And like originally he was just trying to come in. There was already a set team for the CTO they were already kind of working with ideas. And G kind of came in and he was, like, hey, this is a good idea. Maybe you should do this. And then that kind of just led to like, G and I kind of leading that with the whole rest of the core team. And I think like the first week things went so fast, and we were really trying to really launch by Memorial Day. But the weekend prior to Memorial Day, once we got the website out, once we created all the characters, which were all built in like literally like 3 days, that exploded the whole idea concept, which then really put us into gear and like, okay, we really do have something that people want to like invest in, and people want to grow with, right? And I think there's times where, you know, we have everyone's excited, and then obviously like right now we're kind of going sideways right now as we're consolidating, and then now just kind of implementing all the things that we had made and just kind of catching up with ourselves.
And now for a quick word from our sponsor before we dive into the next segment. Are you ready to take your sports predictions to the next level? Look no further than maincard.io, the fantasy management platform that's taking the blockchain world by storm. With MainCard, every card is a ticket to excitement. You can predict sport outcomes, trade cards in the marketplace, and challenge opponents in thrilling weekly duels. And don't wait. Head to maincard.io now and start earning rewards with your NFTs, because it pays to be early. And now back to today.
All right, guys. Let's dive into the meme side of the project, which is these characters you've developed, right? There's a bunch of characters here. I'm on the website, and we'll show our viewers, our listeners can go check out the website. You got an eagle, you got a bear, you got a dog. A lot of fun characters. Tell us a little bit about how memes are being used as a strategic tool for impacting the project and sort of engaging the community, and what you've learned in the process of doing that.
So launching Based USA, the first week or so, I think the first few days, we're trying to figure out what Based USA was. And one of the things that we figured out was the donation treasury and the philanthropic aspect, like mission-driven stuff for veterans. And then, you know, we were trying to think about the logo. So the logo is, you know, the American flag inside of the base logo. And then we were like, okay, well, we need a mascot now. And so we started, you know, what kind of mascot are we going to have for Based USA? And, you know, it has to be the eagle. The eagle's, you know, the national animal for America. And so it was the American bald eagle is the national animal. And so we were then on Googling what's the most famous bald eagle in America, and it's Challenger. And Challenger was an eaglet that was flown out of its nest and taken in by humans, and then it got too domesticated and wasn't able to be returned to the wild. And so now it's this eagle that flies over presidential inaugurations and NFL games and all these special events. And so if you go to Wikipedia and you type in Challenger the eagle, you can learn and see his story. And then we're like, okay, this is awesome. You know, what other famous service animals are there? So looked at the Marines, and there's the most famous bulldog in the Marines is named Jigs II. And so again, if you go to Wikipedia and you type in Jigs II, you can see a photo of Jigs, this black and white photo, because he's no longer with us. And then, you know, we have Smokey the Bear, who again was a rescued animal, he was a rescued bear from New Mexico, and now he's the national mascot of the National Park Service. And then we have Billy the Goat, who's the Navy mascot, and Mr. Jackson, who's an Army mule. So all of the characters that make up the Freedom Brigade for Based USA are actually all real animals and using their real names. And so we've brought them to life with memes, and we're going to be continuing to bring them to life with an AI TV show concept in the future. But the meme component is really important, because that's what a meme is. And a meme is something that's supposed to like make you laugh and bring out creativity. And it's really been fun to see how the community brings these characters to life in different, either, you know, static images or video memes or GIFs. But yeah, so I'm actually wearing it on my shirt right now. So this is the Freedom Brigade, and we have Smokey, Jigs, Challenger, Jackson, and Billy the Goat. And you can see these guys on our website. And if you go to the About page on our website, there's a Wikipedia icon next to each of them where you can click the Wikipedia icon and learn more about each of the characters.
I just wanted to add something. Yeah. So one of the challenges we wanted to do to be like kind of, most meme coins have one character, right? And since we were kind of representing the whole USA, we wanted each character to kind of have the characteristic of different types of people. And then we found very quickly, like, you know, Billy the Goat is he's a goofy party go. And then you have Mr. Jackson the Mule, who's like, he's the workaholic, right? And then you have General Jiggs, who's kind of the cheeky fellow. And then you have President Challenger and Smokey the Bear, and kind of like, each one was talking to a different branch, maybe a different personality that might be in the US, and then Smokey the Bear was kind of catering to more of the civilian aspect. So having the Freedom Brigade really allowed us to kind of get the totality of what makes America and not so much pinning it to just one characteristic.
I love that.
I like it a lot. And you're doing a lot of storytelling. You're allowing your community to connect in a lot of various ways and to different characters that potentially align more with them. You're just providing a lot more points of connection, and taking that strategic approach. There's a lot of thought that goes into it. I'm curious, was the community involved with making those decisions? And then also I want to go back and revisit, like, it's not a small thing that you're making an AI powered TV show. Like, how did that idea even come about, and what can viewers expect?
I'll let G talk about the TV show. What I will say, for all the decisions we did in the beginning, we did everything live in our Telegram. We did it in VC calls. So everyone that was a part of it or came in at that time was watching us, was getting eyes on us. And I think the main reason we gained so much traction so fast is because we were completely transparent about everything. Every conversation was open. Those that were in the room had a word and had a say. And when we didn't know where to go, we'd ask the community, hey, what do you guys think about this idea? Or do you guys want to go down this road? And so I think that's really what allowed our community to really come together pretty strong. I think there's growing pains in any new community that you're growing, and you're getting to know each other and how we work, or, who has time, or, so I think in the beginning there was maybe a little growing pains to figure that out. But in the end, that's actually kind of what brought us so close. And especially when we were all succeeding and the coin took off, like at that point, the team, the community was like this, and we're like, oh, we're riding this, like we're together, we're diamond hands. And so I think that's kind of really what maybe not sets us apart, but allowed our community to grow this coin to what it did so quickly. And then the TV show, G, I'll let G get into that.
So yeah, just to recap on what Count was saying for those that aren't familiar with what a VC is. So the crypto community, for the most part, lives in two places: on X and in Telegram. And on Telegram, there's all these different groups that you can join, and that's where everything happens for the project. And so there'll be buy bot animations where when you buy the token, when someone buys a token, it will show an animation, a video of the price. And then there's GIFs and stickers and memes, and it's just like this whole ecosystem, this whole world of community. And all of the characters actually were created with Midjourney. So we were kind of collaborating on making all of the characters. We were collaborating on the website. We were collaborating on the backstory for the characters. So like all of this was happening live on the VC for the first week. So this Based USA was, in the very purest form of a CTO, was a collaborative effort from every single person that was a part of those conversations in the first week. So that was really special. I have some of those conversations actually recorded, and it was a cool moment in time.
You guys are also building this platform for crypto advocacy. I know you guys are also supporters of Stand With Crypto. We promoted their event in LA a few months back. Really cool initiative. What's sort of your overall perspective on what freedom means in the context of crypto within sort of the ground rules of society, and sort of making sure that, folks sort of have some degree of both flexibility with their decisions, but also protection?
So with the characters that we had, the Freedom Brigade, we thought it would be really fun to bring them to life with AI. The idea for the Based USA TV show is that every week there would be mechanisms where the community could, sign into the website and connect their wallet to authenticate that they have Based USA, and then be able to offer up different ideas for narratives. And then, based off of whatever the community decides on, if we want to do like a lottery, if we want to have a voting system, different narratives would be chosen by the community, and then the those narratives would be brought to life on a weekly basis with the Based USA TV show. And it would be and I thought it'd be a great platform because then, you're educating people about current events, you're making it humorous, you're making, education, entertaining, and you're also able to include maybe there's different community members that have different local businesses. You can now like do product placement in the TV show, or if there's different artists or musicians, you can integrate their music. So the disclaimer for all meme coins at the bottom is that this is not financial, this is purely entertainment. And I thought it would be cool to bring to life entertainment as a utility through an AI powered TV show. And we're going to have the technology later this year to make this possible.
Nice, man. That's really cool. And I think Richard and I were curious about your upcoming event at Temple SF, an iconic institute, owned by the one and only Paul Hemming, a friend of ours and partner at Future Factory as well. We've done some great stuff together. Tell us a little bit about how you came up with this idea and what are the finer details of your event on July 4th.
Based USA is going to be having an event on 4th of July at Temple SF in San Francisco. And if you're a Based USA holder, you'll actually be able to skip the line and get in for free. And then I also spoke to Paul about, if you're not a Based USA investor, being able to have some sort of QR code where we could be educating people about Based USA and about Coinbase and helping them set up wallets and then doing other giveaways.
That's really cool. Definitely sounds like a good option for the 4th of July. And, I know that you guys have some more stuff cooking throughout the summer with Base. Can you talk a little bit about some of those other initiatives, G?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Summer Olympics is a big event happening from July 28th to August 11th. And during that 2 weeks, we're going to be producing an event called the Based Olympics. And we're really excited about the Based Olympics because this isn't just an event for Based USA. It's an event for all different Based projects, especially CTOs, to band together to exemplify different ways that, the Summer Olympics is human mastery and athleticism. It's the greatest athletes in the world showcasing all these different, of human mastery. And so for the Based Olympics, we thought it would be cool to take that idea and have it be of like mind mastery or creativity and showcasing mastery of the mind essentially. And so we're going to be doing everything from, how to launch different artists or different builders will be creating NFT collections over those 2 weeks, or building custom Telegram bots, or making AI powered music videos or whatever. But by the time this comes out, we'll have basedolympics.org live. So if you're a cryptocurrency project on Base and you'd like to participate, go to basedolympics.org and you can fill out the form. And we're going to be kind of creating a curated virtual event over those 2 weeks where different Base projects can offer up a activity that they want to sponsor, and then different builders or creatives can apply to that activity. And so we'll be having a kickoff event at Future Factory SF, the opening ceremony, which will be a mixer with panels and IRL activities. And then through the 2 weeks of the Summer Olympics, we're going to be having virtual events and activities that to be completed. And then at the end, we're going to have a closing ceremony where winners will be announced and awards will be and prizes will be distributed. So we're really excited about this because it brings the narrative of build on Base and on-chain summer to the forefront. And it's a great way for Base projects and builders and creatives of all different walks of life to collaborate on something bigger than themselves.
Hey, G, that's really cool. I think that part of the key of educating folks about this stuff is to get their hands dirty building, and certainly a theme around the Olympics is really exciting. So good luck with that initiative. That sounds really good.
A quick word from our sponsors who's ready to navigate the cutting edge of tomorrow's legal landscape. Because at Zuber Lawler, they're not just attorneys, they're visionaries. With expertise in emerging technologies like AI, blockchain, and the metaverse, they're paving the way for you to seize the future. For mergers and acquisitions to IP, their selective team delivers strategic solutions tailored to the ever-changing world of technology. Join us at Zuber Lawler, where the future meets the law at zuberlawler.com. Back to the episode.
Nice.
That is a really cool collab. So you have the both IRL mixed with the virtual. You have all these different people that are going to be coming in town that have been in the community. So of course, that's always a fun time to get to meet some of these people for the first time and in real life, and keep building out those relationships. And of course, for new people coming in, a great educational opportunity, but also a way to get more involved with the community that you guys have already been building. But I think the question I kind of wrap up here, as this has been an amazing conversation, and kind of want to start with you. Obviously, there's a lot happening with memes. We've been talking about it a lot throughout the course of this conversation, but what's your opinion on where you think meme culture goes from here? And how do you think Based USA is positioned to be ready for where it's headed?
That's a great question. So I think where meme culture goes from here, I think the greatest aspect for me of meme culture is the community. I feel like in a world where maybe many are searching for community, I was not expecting, when I kind of got back into this bull run, before I was never part of the Telegram, as G was explaining. Like, it lives on, there's the trading aspect of it when you're looking at it on Dex tools. Then there's now the X aspect of it. And I didn't really know that there was this whole Telegram where you're in a group chat and you're meeting other people that are also trading similar coins. And I think that aspect brought me a lot of joy of being able to connect with many people from all over the world. Like the fact that we have this IRL event allows us to actually, we're spending hours and hours talking with individuals, like, their voices, you learn their personalities. I think now being able to bridge that gap of like off-chain, on-chain, off-chain, and being able to bridge that, I think that's really what meme is like leading the way in, right? And I think because we could all connect with humor, and we all have, a sense of humor, and connecting on that aspect really kind of lowers the gate for us to connect with other individuals that are maybe like-minded and see a similar future. So that's how I see meme culture growing from here and moving forward.
Yeah, G, anything to add there?
I think that community is what is going to make the future of memes as bright and as strong as we see the future being for it. I think memes are the future of community. I think the memes are the future of entertainment and social media, all wrapped into kind of one experience. And I'm really excited to see, how these communities continue to be activated and evolve, and to bring, new ideas to life.
Yeah, well, we really appreciate you guys sort of going behind the curtain and giving us a sense of what's really going on with these types of projects and how they are evolving in our society and changing the culture of blockchain. So thanks, guys, for taking some time away from taking care of this vibrant community that you've built to educate our listeners and viewers about what's going on with Based USA and the broader sort of meme movement. Before we sort of close out, though, we have this fun segment called Shoutout, where we give you guys a chance to shout out someone in your ecosystem that maybe doesn't get as much spotlight attention, but they're really helping you guys to move the needle. We mentioned Paul. Shout out to Paul, of course. Anyone else that you wanted to shout out in your community before we jet?
I would shout out basically everyone in the core team that has been, here since the beginning, that's been part of the whole growth. You guys know who you are. They've been, we wouldn't be here without the core team. We also shout out to everyone that's been part of just the main community and have been in the, voice calls with us and are just, helping where they can. Shout out to everyone, a part of this project. We would be nowhere without the community here. And so it's really, honestly, it's not just us. We're just the spokesman for the community, and it really shout out to everyone that's been a part of the journey since the beginning, and then even those that are just joining that see what we can grow from here.
Right on.
I want to, just mirror what Count said. Shout out to all of the Based USA holders. Shout out to all of the extended community members of meme tokens that are creating, new ways of looking at the world through community. And just quick shout out to the Based USA team. Shout out Slick. Shout out Rick. Shout out Bunchies. Shout out Milan. Shout out the Friends of Friends. Thank you for being a part of this, and also shout out CB and Yeah, it really does take a village. And, I have this Friends of Friends crypto group, and that Friends of Friends crypto group has grown and expanded. And now it's instrumental in powering a bunch of different meme communities.
So obviously it takes a village to create a project like this. And so great to see that you're able to bring attention to so many of those folks that are helping behind the scenes. Meanwhile, for our audience, if you're curious about what's going on with this project, you can go to baseusa.org and go down that rabbit hole. That will lead you to their Telegram and X. And we're actually going to do a really cool giveaway. So thanks, guys, for sharing some tokens with our community. We'll be in touch with the details on that, where, of course, you can kind of listen to the episode and get involved and get rewarded for participating. So with that, we have reached the outer limit at the edge of NFT for today. Thanks for exploring with us. We've got space for more adventures on the Starship. So invite some friends and recruit some cool strangers. They'll make this journey also much better. How, if you're listening, go to Spotify or iTunes right now. Read us and say something awesome. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, join over 130,000 other followers by hitting the subscribe button, passing this episode on to a friend or two. You can also now catch us on myco.io. That's myco.io, where you can watch and earn for your time and attention. Lastly, be sure to tune in next time for more great Web3 content. Thanks again for sharing this time with us today.
The views and opinions expressed on Edge of NFT reflect solely those views and opinions of the show hosts and its guests. Please make sure to do your own research. Our show is not financial advice. You understand that you are using any and all information available on or through this podcast at your own risk. Whenever making financial decisions, we recommend doing your own research and talking to your accountant for financial advice. From time to time, we may feature sponsored content on the show for which we receive value, and we may share links for which we receive a commission if you make a purchase through one of those links. Refer to our website, www.edgeofnft.com, for our full disclaimer, terms and conditions, and privacy policy.